Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of This is Revolution Podcast. I am your host, Jason Miles, and if you are new to the show, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe, and please don't forget to hit that bell as we are constantly adding new programming to the channel. We want you guys to always know what's up with what we're doing because we're adding some new interesting stuff. Just like yesterday, we did another episode of our brand new sports show from a left perspective, Beyond the Red Zone. And every Wednesday, there's a different This is Revolution Presents show. So please, again, hit that bell so you're reminded every time we go live. This show is kind of a sad one for me. We had planned out, actually, Bajalan had planned out a show with Ana Kasparian and Ben Burgis probably over a month ago. And I was like, what were we going to talk to him about? And he was like, well, maybe we'll talk about the merits of is it worth it to debate right-wingers? And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And not going to lie, kind of lagged on, making those booking emails happen. But when they did happen, we had to work around two very busy schedules. If you guys don't know, Ben is a professor at Morehouse. Of course, Anna is a host of some shows on TYT. We finally got it worked out. Woke up early this morning, recorded the entire show. It was about an hour and a half. And then Restream informed me about 3 hours after we were done that they lost the recording. They lost the show. So to say I'm pissed, it's a bit of an understatement. Pascal is equally upset. I am saddened that you guys couldn't see his very fiery rant that did inspire the panel. And I will say this on air. Pascal apologized to Ben Burgis about being wrong on Jordan Peterson. Recently, Jordan Peterson had a tweet about the postmodern neo-Marxists and didn't name any Marxists. I don't even think he had any postmodernists in there. But Pascal recanted a statement he made maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago saying that he felt Jordan Peterson was actually a smart guy that knows what he's doing. But I'm going to spend a little bit. I'd like to, if you guys would indulge me, I would like to spend some time with you guys talking about this idea of, does debate, is it a worthwhile endeavor? Or are we constantly spinning our wheels? Or is it just spectacle? So indulge me. I would really appreciate it if you gave me some time. If they can't find the episode, they said it's going to take at least 3 days before they can get back to me. If they can't find the episode, then we're definitely going to reschedule with Ben and Anna. So don't worry, we're going to make this episode happen. We're going to make it happen because I was preparing myself for a very, very spicy chat, to say the least. So I want to play an intro video, and I definitely want to get your guys' opinion on this.
Why am I a white supremacist? Because you guys are here shouting down people who are speaking. Really? Okay, last time. How what starts? What are you talking about? What is it? And why, if you have a question, why don't you just ask it? I'm happy to talk with you, but this is nonsensical. This doesn't help. What was that? Well, then tell your people to sit down. We're having a question-answer period. Well, then who are they? If you want to have a conversation, let's have a conversation. But this is not productive. This is whiny nonsense.
Like Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro have crafted massive followings and influence on a generation of young people through the creation of a strawman enemy in their culture war against their ideal of the liberal class. Is there value for those of us on the left to challenge these arguments and debunk their talking points? What is the benefit of engaging in such debate? How do we keep the discourse purposeful and not have it be nothing more than simple spectacle and brand building? We'll ask these questions and more. This is Revolution.
Well, you know something, Governor? Believe it or not, I don't think that integration should be the number one thrust of our civil rights leaders anyway, because I think what we're really talking about in this country is economic development of black people, because I've found
economic development of all people.
Well, we're talking about underprivileged
how come just
people.
black people? How come you just want to do it for black people? How come you don't want to do it for white people?
I'll tell you why.
Huh?
I'll tell you why.
How come you want to do it for everybody? How come you always black people? Why don't you talk about all people?
Can I give you an answer?
Huh?
I think we understand the question.
Yeah.
Can I give you an answer? Do you mind?
Oh, go ahead. If you're ready, I'll give you time.
Okay, Governor. What I'm really saying is that there are some people that have suffered in this country, poor people generally, but let's say that we have various ethnic groups in this country that have attained a certain kind of equality. Black people are more or less, along with the Indians, on the last rung of the ladder. Can I finish, Governor?
Boy.
Can I finish? Okay, do you mind?
The governor
Now,
said
what I'm really
fully
saying is that I feel that the way to bring about equality of black people in this system is
What
through
about
economic...
equality of white people? Now, I want to interrupt you every time you keep calling black people.
Well,
what about equality of all people?
If you interrupt me, Governor, I can't talk to you.
Well, if you're just going to talk about black people, don't include all people. I try to include all people. You're just interested in the black. Why don't you tell these people that in in Atlanta, Georgia, where you keep talking about the South, that the percentage-wise, more black people are professional business people, industrial leaders, more of them in our state house elected officials than any other state in the country.
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you?
Be all right, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. See, I'm not really here to fight with you. I'm only trying to have a discussion with you.
I'm not going to fight with you either.
And I'm trying to use the technique.
There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there watching you, and I want you to be fair about all people, not just black people. We got a lot of people in this country.
I can understand that, but you do know I have a reputation, right? And I saw
I don't
you.
know about it.
I saw you.
Tell me what your reputation is now.
I saw you bring that state trooper back there, you know, behind the curtain. I know you brought him back there for a reason. But,
Thank you for watching. Please don't. Thank you guys for watching that clip. It did take a little time to make. You know, when I had a lot of clips. There's a lot out there, and originally I had a clip of Jordan Peterson. You know, early on when he kind of first blew up, when he was blowing up about that law in Canada about misgendering people, that really, you know, grinded his gears, so to speak. I found that Ben Shapiro clip because I did kind of want something with Ben. I actually wanted to get something with Ben and Anna, and I was like, no, let me find, you know, Ben Shapiro, and I found that. And what I loved at the end is when they have the sloganeering, the right has their thing, and then they're sloganed back to by the other people. I thought that was so adorable. So that's why I had to have the scene from School Days. So I really hope you guys appreciate me putting in as much triggering material as possible. And also let me know what you guys think about the new show segment on Saturday's Trigger Warning, where I find triggering material for Pascal to watch just to fuck up his day. Just kidding. It's not to fuck up his day. It's to make me giggle. So I see a lot of people say debates are overrated. In putting the video together, I actually got a lot of older debates, some of the Cambridge debates, the Harvard debates, and they were interesting because they were coming at a time when the far right, or the conservative right, whatever you want to call them, was very buttoned down and straight-laced. And the radical rhetoric, the more incendiary rhetoric, was definitely coming from that of the left. You know, you have people like Malcolm X and James Baldwin, very fiery, impassioned speeches. And in the work that I've been doing, I'm writing a longer paper to kind of expand on the last video essay. It's up if you guys haven't seen it. We Don't Need Another Hero. One thing that I find very interesting is the rise of the right. And, you know, you can trace it back to the ending of the Fairness Doctrine, definitely. And then the Telecommunications Act in '96 really ramps it up. But there's a hyper-politicization of the right during 9/11. And we're seeing a form of that right now with the 2016 election of Trump and the rise of Sanders. I think those two things have injected a hyper-politicization, more so in a burgeoning left. Whatever was left of the liberal class has turned into a burgeoning left, and we are now hyper-politicized. But with that hyper-politicization of the right, one phenomenon that you may hear people talk about, or maybe you guys have experienced yourself, please let me know if you've experienced yourself, is that some of our parents or family members, or just people that we know that might have been old hippies, or call themselves leftists, definitely made really hardline shifts right. And of course, a lot of that has to do with the bluster that you heard on drive time radio as right-wing voices were dominating. And if you think about the fact that when these people were younger, they were hearing that bluster from the left, impassioned speeches about the cruelty of, you know, capitalism, imperialism, and racism. They're hearing that same bluster from the right. And they know how to talk to their own. And I find that very interesting, because what I'm seeing now with the new hyperpolarization is now both people are very full of the equal bluster. It's almost like people on this new burgeoning left are borrowing from that same incendiary right-wing playbook. And so there were some questions that I wanted to ask Ben and Ana initially, and I'll let you guys in on something. Maybe you guys knew about this. Maybe you did not. I didn't know about this. When I posted the event yesterday, a friend of show, Dr. Eric Osgood, contacted me on a personal message, and he said, when I have to go on Fox News and debate a right-winger, I have to give him all of my information that I will be citing on what we're going to be talking about. And then he has to give me all the information he's going to be citing, like where he's getting his sources from. I found that fascinating. So that was the first question I asked. We get all the funny shit out of the way. And I'm talking to Ben and Ana, and I'm like, hey, does this happen to you guys? Their eyes both got big as Oreos. They're like, no. And I found that kind of funny, that in a debate where generally you're probably going to cite some studies. No, we don't want to know what you're citing from. We just kind of want to know this is the baseline, what we're going to talk about, try to stay on topic. I found that very interesting. But I'm going to do something that I never, ever do on the main show. I'm going to put the chat on the screen so I can literally see what you guys are saying. Yes, M. Toussaint, I said big as Oreos. Holy moly, Derek Varn is in the house. Should I have hit Derek Varn up and said, Varn, here's the link. Come on the show with me. Let's talk this out. I didn't know if anybody cared to listen to me talk, because this has become Pascal's show. Just kidding. But seriously, cultural Marxists, postmodernists, and the conflation of the Democratic Party as the left. We've heard the arguments. We've digested the right-wing talking points. But is there value in talking to the intellectual dark web in a public debate? Can the public debunking help wake some people up out of their neoliberal coma and shift some of the power away from these well-funded cultural warlords? That is the first question I pose to you guys. Is it worthwhile? Are we shifting? Are we getting people away from the right with some of these debates? I definitely, in the show, I have my feelings about a lot of debate. If you guys don't know, Pascal and I have a no debate rule on this show. Now, what he does when he leaves here is him. But me personally, I don't really dig it. I think debate at this point is kind of like shitty rap battles. It's a bunch of kind of whack dudes, mostly dudes, trying to one-up each other with who can get the quickest Wikipedia search to debunk a point. It's really silly to me. We talked about on the show, and I would definitely love to hear what you guys have to say about this. Richard Wolff debated one of those Twitch people, and Richard Wolff will forget more than Pascal, Ben, and Ana and I know about history, socialism, communism, the economy, and to watch him kind of, I wouldn't say sink down. It just seems like that was a waste of his time. He was so far light years ahead of that gentleman's thinking. I didn't dig it. And what it seems to me is, and we mentioned this on air too, I'd like to get your guys' thoughts on this. I think that the people behind the Ben Shapiro's and the Jordan Petersons, maybe even the Dave Rubins, there's money to be made with these guys talking into the ether about make-believe amorphous people that don't exist, right? And Jordan Peterson, strategic, or his people, I don't think he's sitting there in a room going, Slavoj Žižek is the one for me, yes. That's a calculated decision not to debate a Richard Wolff. First of all, Richard Wolff's profile, while large on the left, is nowhere near that of Jordan Peterson. I went to go see Richard Wolff speak before COVID in Berkeley, California, in front of a room of about maybe 200 people. Maybe there was 300 people. It was a small hall outside of the university. And I'm not saying this to belittle Richard Wolff. I don't think I can get 300 people out to listen to like me and Pascal talk shit. But Jordan Peterson, on that same note, while I was on tour in 2019, I can't remember what city we were in. It was somewhere in the East Coast, but he was speaking at a big ass 5,000 room auditorium, and the sign that said sold out. So, there is a drastic difference between those two people. And sometimes when you're in a certain position, you're like, well, is this going to help or hurt me? And I definitely think these cats are thinking brand first, because again, we have to remember that when you are that large, you're not sitting back making these decisions by yourself. There is a team of people telling you everything: when you will get up, who you're going to talk to, what you're going to talk to them about. It's a different world. Different world. And that was a strategic decision to debate Slavoj Žižek. So regardless if you think Slavo owned him, a lot of people don't know Slavo outside of our little sector of the world. There's the accent factor where some people are like, I can't get it, the accent. And he's got these idiosyncrasies that are kind of strange. And again, I'm not saying Slavo didn't do a great job. He did a great job. But I think the Peterson crew knew better than to have him talk to a person that is going to break it down simple and plain, very succinctly, not talk around subjects, not have funny anecdotes about why he's full of shit. You can't have that. Now, he can sit there and go, I don't know any Marxists. I don't think I read, the Communist Manifesto. Peterson can say that was Žižek and have a laugh. It's not going to go over well with a guy like Richard Wolff because he's a lot more tenacious. So those are strategic decisions. And I definitely think when Ben Shapiro took on Ana Kasparian in a debate, it was a lot of arrogance on his team's part and a little bit of misogyny, thinking she wasn't intellectually ready to tackle his 100-mile-an-hour approach to debate. And I would be shocked if he wanted to do it again. I would actually be shocked if Jordan Peterson's people wanted to do a kind of Slavoj Žižek debate again. You can't really, you don't want to hurt that brand. They're very, very fragile. To get that large. As large as a guy like, let's say, Steven Crowder is, he still ain't Jordan Peterson large. He still ain't, Ben Shapiro large. So having an honest, good faith discussion, I definitely think is kind of hard to do because there's so many interests involved. Guys like, okay, first of all, I will stop this. Kenzo Shibata said, I want to debate Dave Mustaine. First of all, Kenzo, let me tell you a thing or two about my love for Dave Mustaine. There's only two white guys that are allowed in my house, and that's John Elway, Dave Mustaine. That's it. That's it. Kenzo. Now you know. But there are financial interests involved with a lot of these debates, and I think they get very strategic. And sometimes I think these guys don't take their opponents that seriously, and then sometimes I think, not even Kuba. Kuba isn't. He's a comrade. I guess you didn't watch that episode where Kuba is a comrade. Comrade, please. Still one of the funniest things. And Varn, of course, is allowed in the house. What am I thinking? How can I not have Derek Varn in the house? I invited Derek Varn. I'm just kidding. There's a list, but there is a list. Just can't have white people willy-nilly just walking in the house. But it seems like if you were to have one of these older debates, like you see where you know Buckley v. Vidal, and that happened quite often. I don't see that same thing happening with Peterson constantly trying to debate Zizek, or Ben Shapiro constantly trying to debate Ana Kasparian, because more often than not, when these idiots sometimes don't even have to open their mouths. Recently Peterson, the tweet that I mentioned earlier that made Pascal recant his point about how smart Peterson was, he took it down because of people like you. Joking. But no, there was a lot of pushback on, this is stupid. These aren't even the postmodernists that you claim to be, railing against. I find that interesting. Nance, you said you want to debate Ricky Lake. Why do you want to debate Ricky Lake? About what? About why her show didn't work out in the 90s? Why she left China Beach? Or what's with the documentary about natural births? Is that what you want to debate Ricky Lake about? Derek Varn says Sean King's mom does look like his mom, which is weird. Look, Derek, let's be honest here for a second. We've never seen you and Sean King in the same place at the same time. It's like Shock G and Humpty Hump. Took us a while to understand. Same guy. I get it. The Varn thing is you keeping it real, but the Sean King thing is about you getting paid. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. If we can get Umar Johnson to debate Pascal Robert, I would pay for that. But we did. So I do have to say that I really hope they can look. If you guys want to get this episode, real talk, like just Restream is a service I use, bombard them with tweets, with messages, and be like, hey, you guys fucked up this show we really wanted to see, and you better find that shit. So yes, rest in peace to Shock G. Also on the screen, I haven't said it, is the GoFundMe for one of Pascal's mentors. Daruba bin Wahad is one of Pascal's mentors in his Muslim faith, and also in his political awakening. So he has fallen very ill with cancer. He got stage 4 cancer. Pascal called me last night, and he found out that there was a GoFundMe. I went and looked it up today, and I want to make it a point to leave it on the screen. We're going to do what we can to try to get the word out. I know Black Power Media is doing 24 hours of streaming to help fund Daruba's medical care. We've talked about this on the show several times. It's definitely hit me personally. One of the reasons why I live where I live is so I can get cheaper medical work if I need it. I've had to donate money to friends getting cancer treatments, and it sucks, but being in the music world, it's kind of a common thing that these things happen, especially as a lot of us are getting older. But a brother like Daruba that's done so much He is the genuine article, and to see him fall ill, it hurts. And so hopefully we can band together and raise some money and get him the treatment that he needs and he can pull through. That being said, on a lighter side now. So as we're talking about debate, and I'm being a bit of a dick about how much I hate certain people, the Twitch motherfuckers, Anna makes a point about Pascal being perfect for debate. And Pascal had just let off a fiery rant about the right. And that thing where his eyes get all like, and then we joked about him being an angry Negro, and that's why you guys like him. And so Anna was like, you're perfect for this. You would be perfect for a debate. So another thing, if you guys want to make this happen, I bet I have a feeling in here that you can make this happen. It is on your left says, did Pascal's forehead hit the camera again? No, because as you people know, Pascal has a new chair, and there's two things you get. You get the lean in. If I give him a production note, hey man, leaning too far back, we get too much lean in. But right now, there's too much lean back. The lean back with the new chair is on a whole nother. I think it's the goddamn recliner that he's got over there. It's ridiculous. But I posed this to Anna, and I said, look, there's only one of us here that has the juice to make this happen, and that's you, Anna. And I said, can you arrange a debate with Pascal and John McWhorter? And she smiled and nodded. So I want to make that happen. I don't want. Someone said Pascal and Candace Owens. There was an image I was trying to get. I couldn't pull it off the internet, but it was the Avengers, and Marx was Thanos, and Candace Owens was the Duro Milaje from Wakanda, but they didn't even make her bald. They just kept the weave. I almost died. And Alex Jones was the Winter Soldier, and they put a little wig on him. I wish I'm not going to look for the pictures. I don't want to take up your guys' time too much, but that shit had me, I'm tearing up now thinking about how hilarious that shit was. Again, I want to say thank you guys for taking the time to help me feel a lot better. I was very, 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 very hurt. It's a lot of work to do this show, and it was really hard to get the schedule so we can get Anna and Ben at the same time. Like Ben he put off a class to do the show, and for them to come back and send me a message that says, man, we're really sorry. I'm sure you're bummed, but there seems to be a glitch in the server and we can't find your show that you saved. So you guys being here with me where I thank you. I really appreciate that. But yes, please hit up your social media and call out John McWhorter and let him know that Pascal Robert is looking for him. I'm trying to get the debate on TYT. You know, he's not going to do it if it's on This Is Revolution. We're too small. But fucking Anna does that shit. That he may be down for that. So, and he's been itching to do it. He called me late last night. Very upset. And I was able to calm him down a little bit. But Yeah, let's make that happen. Let's make a Pascal v. McWhorter debate happen. Another thing I find interesting about these debates is, and I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, it's usually done on enemy territory. It's not done in any sort of neutral turf. I guess when Anna debated Ben, it was at like a city chamber of commerce, Ben Shapiro. Ben Burgis was flown out to debate Charlie Kirk recently in Arizona in the Turning Points? So TP USA Studios. Whew. Whew. M. Toussaint says, if it wasn't for band t-shirts, I'd be wearing plunging necklines. You could be right. You could be right. Wait till summer, because none of these shirts are going to have sleeves. There's even more shirts with no sleeves. Band shirts. Derek Varn, since you are in the chat talking mad shit, if I could get a debate with you and someone, who would it be? Could I get Derek Varn v. Max Blumenthal? Can we make that happen? Or do we want to make that happen? Another question. I don't know if I want to make that happen. Another reason why I am not a big debate person, even Pascal is not a big debate person, is because we like to try to center our energy towards completing projects that tell a more well thought out, deeper narrative than what happens in the new age pseudo rap battle of modern day debate in 2021, 22. Oops. And when I was putting together the last video essay, it took actually quite a long time, and even writing out this thing that I'm doing with Teray is taking even longer than the video essay. And while I'm doing that, I'm not getting any, pats on the back and attaboys and likes, right? And I think that there's still people, of course, that write books and do great scholarship, but even books are shorter. Pascal and I were talking the other day about Adolph Reed writing a 160-page book because people don't read books. And to sit down and actually really research and work out your ideas. And I definitely always talk to Varn about this shit all the time. He will tell you, before I even wrote the Teenage Anarchist piece, I had a long dialogue with him about the punk scene, because he definitely comes from that world as well. I sit down with everybody in the group. Pascal tends to sit down with Djene and Kuba, and we all kind of go over these ideas we have to make them coherent. We get input from one another, and then it comes out. Pascal hasn't written anything in the last 2 or 3 months because he's literally been doing that much research on what he's working on. So that's another reason why I kind of don't take this shit that seriously, because you have these people that just jump up and they want to debate about the topic of the day. Ben talked about it, I guess, on his show. He broke down a debate about Russia, Ukraine, that he said it was just silly. But it's a different time, and there's a lot to be said about people doing this for likes and clicks, because there's something that we didn't have before, and that is the great release valve that is the catharsis of social media. Someone says, I approach everything like video essays, like I'm writing and mixing an album. Yes. There is a woman that does come here from time to time, and she actually watched the whole thing transpire, and she made some comments along those lines. So there's a lot of truth to that. But that's what's really interesting to me is this idea of collective thought, and I kind of get into it in the video essay. America is a land, and we can't belittle this fact of creating amazing hero narratives, from George Washington and cherry trees to Abraham Lincoln and slave freedom, FDR, the America winning World War II. These are narratives that are baked into this nation, baked into our DNA. And for a lot of people, they're just now decoupling from some of these ideas. So the exceptionalism is hard to see on both sides. Even America Bad sometimes is removing the autonomy over other imperial nations or the nations with imperial projects. And it's hard to even try to think collectively, because it means we have to do things where we can't get the instant gratification. You have no idea. Living next to one of the largest homeless encampments in a city like Oakland, I saw a lot of selfies. A lot of selfies. I don't think these are bad people. I don't think they're dishonest actors. It's a little more complex than that. But for every, West Oakland punks with lunch that just do the work, there's so many more organizations that come out there and they just love a photo op. It's a feel-good thing. And I think some people would go, if I take this photo, maybe it'll encourage more of my friends and my brothers and sisters in the parish to do the same thing. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you just like the fucking likes. Maybe you just like people telling you that you're a wonderful person because you fed somebody that has a shit bucket next to them. I don't know. And because of the hero narrative, we fall victim to it on both sides, right? The disruptors. Donald Trump is going to be a disruptor. He's going to shake things up. Bernie Sanders is going to be a disruptor. He's going to shake things up. He's going to win. We're going to get what we want. But there's no powerful institutions behind these people. Is co-optation just inevitable at this point? Can we even get out of this moment? When we think about the George Floyd summer of 2020, and then we think about the Watts riots, listen to the rhetoric of the frustrated masses. It's the same thing. Nothing changed. Poor people are still poor, and they're still getting ground to powder by capitalism. And the cops, regardless of color, gender, are still, the enforcers for this system. And there was a few organizations, but overall, you're talking about a lot of apolitical people that have an emotional attachment to whatever they saw that pissed them off. And again, we've talked about this several times. There's a lot of things that were going on in 2020. It's like there was a lot of things that were going on in 65. It wasn't one incident. Several incidents. For 92, you could go all the way back to 82 and look at what led to Rodney King. So it's never just one incident, right? History isn't that simple. But there was no one there to capture this moment. 65, the riots in 68, 92, 2020. Who's there to capture that? Even attempt to. And then what happens? You release the steam, you burn down a police station, and then what? As I was getting ready for the show, and there's a whole nother computer in another room of the apartment, and I'm transferring that video to this computer so I can upload it here. And while I'm doing it, I'm playing my phone. YouTube is going, and for some reason, it started going on police violence videos. And there was a video of a man who was a paraplegic that told the police, "I'm a paraplegic. I can't get out of the car." And they're like, "You get out of the car now. We're going to yank you out." He goes, "Please don't yank me out of the car. I'm paraplegic." He had a car. If you don't know, paraplegics can drive. There's kind of a thing that they get on their car so they can push down on the gas pedal. And they pull the man out of the car. Apparently, he had his 3-year-old child with him in the car in the back seat. I couldn't tell you what city it was in. I don't remember. Not too long ago in Minneapolis, again, another man was shot because he had a gun, but he had a license for the gun. I went to get food yesterday because I live in a new country and I'm not used to some of the things that I deal with here. And one of the things is gas. You don't pay monthly. You run out of gas, you get low, you call the man in the gas truck and he comes and puts gas in your gas tank. And I totally forgot. And so I haven't had heat or food in a while. And so I went down the hill to get some food. And there's a gentleman that owns this fucking awesome burger place. We're sitting there talking, and he was telling me about how he watched a video of a 12-year-old young black girl get manhandled by a police officer. And he says the police officer was a very large man and had his knee or fist on the girl's neck. And he said, all I could think about was George Floyd. And I was so mad. And I was like, well, what did you do then? And he just stared at me. There's a feeling of powerless when you watch this shit play out every day. And it's frustrating. And maybe there's a positive to the release valve of social media. You know what, man? I don't know. I don't have all the goddamn answers. But it seems like once we blow off the steam and yell, then it's back to business as usual. Now, I no longer live in the United States. And I can't tell you how frightening it is. I live near a military base, and there's different levels. There's the city police, there's the federales, and different levels of cops. So I live near there's a military base down the hill from where I live. I'm just giving up where I'm staying. Like, you guys are gonna find me. But anyway, and the cops see me, and it's not like back home, man. They're in pickup trucks with semi-automatic weapons, and they're just staring at you. But they don't fuck with you. They don't pull anybody over. I mean, some people get pulled over. I live somewhere where, for once, I see the police, I feel nothing. I met some white people the other day, again, getting coffee because I didn't get a hold of the gas man in time. It's very embarrassing because it's not even that much money. It's just me being stupid. And we're talking, and they're, live down the way near Ensenada. And I said, this is the only place I've ever been where white people are generally happy to see me. They go out of their way to see me at the grill. Like, oh my God, hello, how are you? It's so funny. So the states are, it's frustrating. So what I'm trying to say is I feel the frustration. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel the same fucking frustration. If I haven't had a gun pointed at my chest, same things have happened to me. In Derek's state of Utah, I think I told you about this, Derek. They had the fucking SWAT team. It was two SUVs and 3 cop cars, and they were behind the doors and shit with the gun. Nightmare. They got the wrong car. They were looking for a white guy. You know, I feel that frustration. I know what that frustration feels like. But I also know the futility of, we shut down the freeway. All right, now what? But again, I don't have the answers. That's why I'm talking to you guys. Let's figure this out collectively. I apologize if I haven't gotten back to everybody's message. I'll be very transparent. I think I finally blocked this person. I had a stalker. Maybe you guys saw her in the chat. It was really fucking freaking me out. She was saying some real fucked up things. I never met this woman before in my life. It's still creeping me out. Said some really horrible things about my kid. Anyway. So I apologize if I haven't gotten back to people's message. Today and tomorrow I'll try to get back. But I'm reading your messages. I'm taking all the things you guys are saying. And it's definitely helping us. I'm sharing it with the rest of the crew. So please don't think that we're not looking at it. Thank you guys so much. Even when you're being like overly critical. We're reading it all and I appreciate it. Yeah, it really fucked me up. I don't like this right now. I'm not in a very good headspace, so I apologize. I don't even feel comfortable doing this because I don't really like being seen anymore after this whole ordeal. It's gone on for about a year. In the last month or so, it's gone truly off the rails to the point where I've had to call the police a couple times. But on that note, I want to thank you guys for spending some time with me. I didn't know how long I was going to do this for. Someone says Aaron Mate versus Ben Burgis. I'm down for that. Aaron Mate versus Ben Burgis. Let's try to make that happen. Aaron Mate's brother watches this show, I think. He did at one point in time. So thank you guys so much. I'm gonna let's cross our fingers, and also let's fucking bombard Restream. Be like, dude, we want to see this episode with Pascal, Anna, and Ben talking about the merits of debating these people. God damn it. So I believe Djene Bajalan will be with you guys tomorrow for Gaming Materialist with Derek Varn. If he isn't, I forget, then Pascal will be doing a special Mau Mau hour tomorrow. So if you're a patron, we go on an hour early. I'm excited for that. I am so excited for that. And on that note, let us enjoy the cartoons of my childhood over a beat I made for my son to go to sleep to. So thank you guys and have a very, very good night. Peace.